Can this be vanity? No. Nature is lovely and rejoices in her loveliness. I am a child of nature and take after my mother.
time are purely arbitrary. Who's to say that 24 hours make a day?
Well, there is a popular impression to that effect.
Let's face it. We'll call each second a minute, each minute an hour, each hour a day, and each day a year. At that rate, Don't let's be downhearted. Remember, there is a silver lining to every cloud.
Yes. Let's be perfectly happy.
By all means, let's thoroughly enjoy ourselves.
It's absurd to cry. Yes. Quite ridiculous. Wouldn't you like to retire? It must pain you to see us being so affectionate together.
No, I must learn to bear it. Now, oblige me by allowing her head to rest upon your shoulder.
Like that.
I am very much obliged to you. Now, kiss her. Oh, thank you! That's simple torture!
Come, Berta. After all, it's only for a month.
No, it's no use deluding oneself with false hope.
What do you mean?
My child, my poor child. How shall I break it to her? My little bride that was to have been.
Was to have been.
Yes, you never can be mine.
So glad.
I have just ascertained that by the Mikado's law, when a married man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive.
Buried alive?
Buried alive! It's a most unpleasant death.
But whom did you get that from?
I'm from Pooh-Bah. He's my solicitor.
But he is mistaken.
So I thought. So I consulted the Attorney General, the Lord Chief Justice, the Lord Judge Ordinary, and the Lord Chancellor. They're all of the same opinion. Never knew such unanimity on a point of law in my life.
Now follow this. This law has never been put into force.
Not yet. You see, flirting is the only crime punishable with decapitation. And married men never flirt.
Of course they don't. I quite forgot that. Well, I suppose I may take it that my dream of happiness is at an end.
Darling, I don't want to appear selfish, and I love you with all my heart. I don't suppose I shall ever love anyone else half as much, but you see, when I agreed to marry you, my own, I had no idea that I should have to be buried alive in a month.
Nor I. It's the very first I've heard of it.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does, Miss. Of course.
Just a burial alive. It's such a stuffy death.
I call it a beast of a death.
You see my difficulty, don't you?
Yes, and I see my own. If I insist on you carrying out your promise, I doom you to a hideous death. But if I release you, you marry Coco at once.
Oh. Here's how you do, if I marry you. When your time has come to perish, then the maiden whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's how we do, here's how we do.
Here's a pretty mess, in a month or less. I will die without a wedding, let the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess, here's a pretty mess.
Here's the state of things. To her life she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion. Burial it brings. Here's the state of things. Here's the state of things.
With a passion that intense, I worship and adore. But the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If what he says is true, he's dead to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do. Here's a pretty state of things. A pretty state of things. Here's a howdy-do. For if what you say is true, I cannot tell you. Here's a pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do.
My poor boy, I'm really very sorry for you.
Thanks, old fellow. I'm sure you are.
You see, I'm quite helpless.
I quite see that.
I can't conceive anything more distressing than to have one's marriage broken off at the last moment. But you shan't be disappointed of a wedding. You shall come to mine.
That's very kind of you, but it's impossible.
Why so?
Today I die.
What do you mean?
I can't live without Yang Yang. This afternoon, I perform the Happy Dispatch.
No, pardon me, I can't allow that.
Why not?
Why, hang it all! You're under contract to die at the hand of the public executioner in a month's time. If you kill yourself, what's to become of me? Why, I shall have to be executed in your place.
It would certainly seem so.
Now then, what is it?
The Mikado and his suite are approaching the city and will be here in 10 minutes.
The Mikado! He's coming to see whether his orders have been carried out. Now look, you know this is getting serious. A bargain is a bargain, and you really mustn't frustrate the end of justice by committing suicide. As a man of honor and a gentleman, you are bound to die ignominiously at the hands of the public executioner.
Very well, then. Behead me.
Now?
Certainly, at once.
Chop it up! Chop it up! Don't go about prepared to execute gentlemen at a moment's notice. Why, I never even killed a cockroach.
Still, as Lord High Executioner, you
My good sir, as Lord High Executioner, I've got to do it in a month. I'm not ready yet. I don't know how it's done. I mean to take steps. I'll begin with a sheep and work my way through the animal kingdom until I come to a second trombone. You don't suppose that as a humane man I would have accepted the post of Lord High Executioner if I hadn't thought the duties purely nominal. I can't kill you. I can't kill anything. I can't kill anybody.
Come, poor fellow. We all have unpleasant duties we must discharge at times. Remember, what is it after all? If I don't mind, why should you? Remember, sooner or later it must be done.
Must it? I'm not so sure of that.
What do you mean?
Why should I kill you when making an affidavit that you've been executed will do just as well? Here are plenty of witnesses. The Lord Chief Justice, the Lord High Admiral, Commander-in-Chief, Secretary of State, the Home Department, First Lord of Treasury, and First Commissioner of Police.
But where are they?
There they are! They'll all swear to it, won't you?
Am I to understand that all of us high officers of state are required to perjure ourselves to ensure your safety?
Why not? You'll be grossly insulted, as usual.
Will the insult be cashed down on a date?
A ready money transaction.
Well, it would be a useful discipline. Very good. Choose your fiction and I'll endorse it. Ha ha, family pride. How do you like that, you fuck? What I tell you, that life without Yum Yum.
Oh, Yum Yum, Yum Yum. Father Yum Yum. You go and fetch Yum Yum. Take Yum Yum and marry Yum Yum. Only go away and never come back again. Ah, here she is. Yum Yum, are you particularly busy?
Not particularly.
You've 5 minutes to spare?
Yes.
Then go along with his great yacht Bishop of City. He'll marry you at once.
But it has to be buried alive.
Oh, now don't ask any questions, but do as I tell you, and Nancy will explain all.
But one moment.
Not a word! Here comes Mikado, no doubt to ascertain whether I've obeyed his decree. If he finds you alive, I shall have the greatest difficulty in persuading him that I beheaded you. No say that, for here he comes.
From every kind of man obedience I expect.
the Emperor of Japan.
I'm his daughter-in-law elect. In my wisdom, he's only got one daughter-in-law elect.
My morals have been declared particularly correct.
But there's nothing at all compared with those of his daughter-in-law elect. Oh, to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect. In a fatherly kind of way, I govern each tribe and sect, all cheerfully own my sway. My nature is love and light, my freedom from all defect.
Insignificant fight compared with his daughter-in-law elect. Oh, to his daughter-in-law elect.
Bow, bow to his daughter-in-law elect. A more humane Mikado never did in Japan exist. To nobody's second, I'm certainly reckoned a true philanthropist. It is my very humane endeavor to make to some extent each evil liver a running river of harmless merriment. My object of sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment. All disrespectful audience members who chatter and bleat and bore, I set here lectures by Harvard professors who teach from 10 till 4. I am a tenor whose vocal abilities all desire to shirk, shall during off hours exhibit his powers to Madame Tussauds waxwork. The corporation that gives its officers raises while claiming a loss, its short-sighted leaders will find bottom feeders, are going to use them for floss. The operatic hack who tries to improve on Gilbert's words ought to include a brief interlude where the end of the verse doesn't rhyme. My object of sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
Its object of sublime, he will achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fit the crime, and make each prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
All double-dealing politicians who base their campaigns on lies, these cynical sages shall alter their wages to match those who serve them fries. The music hall singer attends a series of masses and fugues and pops, by Bach and Beethoven, Wishbone and Beethoven, and classical Monday pops. The MIT student whom anyone catches his fate's the worst of all. He'll meet his doom in a lecture room at a desk that's far too small. And there he'll write a new dissertation without any chance to view any notes from his courses or primary sources until the defense is through. My object of sublime I shall achieve in time, to let the punishment fit the crime, the punishment fits the crime, and make each prisoner pent unwillingly represent a source of innocent merriment, of innocent merriment.
Its object of sublime, he
have been attended to. The execution has taken place.
Ooh, you've had an execution, have you?
Yes, the coroner has just handed me his certificate.
I am the coroner, and this is the certificate of his death. At Titipu, in the presence of the Lord Chancellor, Lord Chief Justice, Attorney General, Secretary of State for the Home Department, Lord Mayor, Grand Duke of Pennick-Halfpenny.
They were all present, Your Majesty. I counted them myself.
Very good house. I wish I'd been in time for the performance.
A tough fellow he was, too. A man of gigantic strength. His struggles were terrific. It was really a remarkable scene.
Describe it.
The criminal cried as he dropped him down in a state of wild alarm. With a frightful, frantic, fearful frown, I bare my big right arm. I seized his eyes, his lips, his tail, and on his knees fell he. As he squirmed and struggled and gurgled and doubled, I drew my speaker's Never shall I forget the cry or the screams that shrieked as I gnashed my teeth when from his sheath I drew my sneaker's knee.
We know him well, he cannot tell untrue or groundless tales. He always tries to utter life, and every time he fails.
He shivered and shook as he gave the sign, the stroke he did deserve. When all of a sudden his eye met mine, and seemed to break his nerve. He nodded his head and kissed his hand, and whistled an air did he, as the saber true cut cleanly through his cervical vertebrae. His vertebrae. When a man was afraid of beautiful maid, it is cheering sight to see. And his soul was left a moment sad, was soothed by sight of me.
The terrible tale you cannot sail through the wine was free. The tasting task of malted fats amounts to our disease.
Now, though you'd have said that head was dead, for its owner dead was he. It stood on its neck with a smile well bred, and bowed 3 times to me. It was none of your impudent talk, and not but as humble as could be. For it clearly knew the deference due to a man of pedigree. And so I found this deathly bound was a touching sight to see. Though trunkless yet, it couldn't forget the deference due to me.
Because he losing speaks the truth whenever he finds his face. And in this case, it's all to face exactly as he said. Exactly as he said.
Very interesting, and I should like to have seen it, but we came about a totally different matter. About a year ago, my son, the heir to the throne of, Japan, bolted from our imperial court.
Indeed. Had he any reason to be dissatisfied with his position?
None whatsoever. On the contrary, I was going to marry him. Yet he fled.
I am surprised he should have fled from once.
nothing. You are still unenlightened. Learn, then, that it is not in the face alone that beauty is to be found. My face is unattractive.
It is.
My left shoulder blade is a miracle of loveliness. People come miles to see it. And my right elbow holds a fascination few can resist.
Allow me.
It is on view Tuesdays and Fridays on the card. As for my circulation, it is the largest in the world.
And yet he fled. Yes, and is masquerading in this town, disguised as a second trombone.
A second trombone?
Yes. Oh, would it be troubling you too much to produce the gentleman for me? He goes by the name of
Nanky Poo.
Nanky Poo.
It's quite easy. That is, it's rather difficult. In point of fact, he's gone abroad.
Abroad? His address?
Harvard.
It's in Japanese. Dear, this is tiresome. My poor fellow, in your anxiety to carry out my wishes, you have beheaded the heir to the throne of Japan.
I beg to offer an unqualified apology.
I decide to associate myself with that sentiment of regret.
I really had no notion.
Of course you hadn't. How could you? Come, my good fellow, don't distress yourself. It was no fault of yours. If a man of exalted rank chooses to disguise himself as a second trombone, he must take the consequences. It really distresses me to see you take on so. I've no doubt he thoroughly deserved all he got.
We are infinitely obliged to your majesty.
Much obliged, Your Majesty.
Very much obliged, Your Majesty.
Obliged, not a bit. Don't mention it. How could you tell?
Now, of course, we couldn't tell who the gentleman really was.
It wasn't like it was written on his forehead, you know.
It might have been on his pocket handkerchief. But Japanese don't use pocket handkerchiefs.
I forget the punishment for compassing the death of the heir apparent.
Punishment.
Punishment.
Yes. Notice something lingering with boiling oil or something like that. I think boiling oil occurs in it. I'm not sure. I know it's something humorous, but lingering with boiling oil or melted lead. Come, don't fret. I'm not the least bit angry.
If your majesty will accept our assurance, we had no idea.
Poor.
I really knew nothing about it.
I wasn't there.
That's the pathetic part of it. The fool act says compassing the death of the heir apparent. There's not a word about a mistake, knowing, having no notion, or not being there. There should be, of course.
Yes.
But there isn't. It's the slovenly way in which these acts are always drawn. But cheer up. It'll be all right. I'll have it altered. Next session. Now, about your executions. Would after luncheon suit you?
Can you wait till then?
Oh, yes. We can wait till then. Then we'll have it after luncheon.
I don't want any lunch.
Really, I'm very sorry for you all, but it's an unjust world, and virtue is triumphant only in theatrical performances. See how the fates their gifts allot. For A is happy, B is not, yet B is worthy, I dare say, of more prosperity than A.
Is he more worthy?
I should say, he says,
happy, oh so happy, laughing ha-ha, chapping ha-ha, nectar popping ha-ha, ever joyous, ever gay, happy undeserving age, ever joyous, ever gay, happy undeserving age. If I were fortune, which I'm not, we should enjoy his happy lot, and A should die in misery. That is assuming I am B. Should A perish? That should be, of course, assuming I am B. B should be happy, oh so happy, laughing ha-ha, chapping ha-ha, nectar clapping ha-ha, but condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious be, but condemned to die is he, wretched meritorious be. Well, a nice mess you got us into with your nodding head and a deference due to a man of pedigree.
Merely corroborative detail made to give artistic verisimilitude to an otherwise bold and unconvincing narrative.
Detail? Corroborative fiddlestick!
And you're just as bad as he is, with your catching his eye and his whistling there. But that's so like you, you must put in your all.
Oh, it wasn't about you with your big right arm.
And your snickersnee.
Well, never mind that now. There's only one thing to be done. Nanky Poo hasn't started yet. He must come to life again at once. Ah, here he is. Here, Nanky Poo. I've good news for you. You're reprieved.
Oh, but it's too late. I'm a dead man, and off for my honeymoon.
Oh, nonsense. A terrible thing has just happened. It seems you're the son of the Mikado.
Oh, but that happened some time ago.
Is this a time for airy persiflage? Your father is here, and with Katisha.
My father, and with Katisha?
Yes, he wants you particularly. So does she.
He's married now.
But bless my heart, what's that got to do with it?
Katisha claims me in marriage, but I can't marry her because I'm married already. Consequently, she will insist upon my execution, and if I'm executed, my wife will have to be buried alive.
You really are difficult.
Yes. I don't know what's to be done.
There's one chance for you. If you could persuade Katisha to marry you, she would have no further claim on me. And in that case, I could come back to life without any fear of being put to death.
I marry Katisha?
I really think it's the only course.
But my good girl, have you seen her? She's something appalling.
Oh, that's only her face. After all, she has a left elbow which people come miles to see.
And I hear her third chin is much admired by connoisseurs.
I said, sir, I decline to pin my heart upon any lady's third chin.
It comes to this. While Katisha is single, I prefer to be a disembodied spirit. While Katisha is married, existence will be as welcome as the flowers that bloom in spring. The flowers that bloom in spring, tra-la, we promise a merry sunshine. As we merrily dance and we sing, tra-la, we welcome the hope that they bring, tra-la, of summer of roses and wine, a summer of roses and wine. And that's what we mean when we say that something is welcome as flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, la-la-la-la, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la.
The flowers that bloom in the spring, tra-la, have
to do with the case. I've got to take under my wing Trauma, a most unattractable thing. Trauma, with a cloud on the face, with a cloud couture on the face. That's what I mean when I say or I sing. Oh, God, the flowers that bloom in the spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. Oh, God, the flowers of spring. Tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la. For years, I have loved you with a white-hot passion that is slowly but surely consuming my very vitals. No, shrink not from me. If there is aught of women's mirth in your heart, turn not away from a lovesick suppliant whose every fibre thrills at your tiniest touch. Ah!
under a poor mask of disgust, I have endeavored to conceal a passion whose inner fires are broiling the soul within me. But the fires will not be extinguished. They defy all attempt at extinction, and bursting forth all the more eagerly for their long restraint, they declare themselves in words that will not be weighed, that cannot be schooled, that should not be too severely criticized. Katisha, I dare not hope for your love, but I will not live without it.
Darling, you whose hands filthy with the blood of my betrothed, dare to invest such words of passion to the woman you have so proudly wronged.
I do, accept my love, or I perish on the spot.
Go to. Who knows so well as I that no one ever yet died of a broken heart?
You know not what you say. Listen. On a tree by a river, a little soft tit sang below, below. And I said to him, Dicky bird, why do you sit singing below, tit, below, tit, below? Is it rudeness of intellect, birdie, I cried, or a rather tough word in your little inside? With a shake of his poor little head, he replied, oh, willow, tit, willow, tit, willow.
Oh, willow, tit, willow.
Laughed at his chest as he sat on that bough, singing willow, tit, willow, tit, willow. And a cold perspiration bespangled his brow. Oh, willow, tit, willow, tit, willow. He sobbed and he sighed, and a gurgle he gave. Then he plunged himself into the billowy wave. Oh, willow, tit, now I feel just as sure as I'm sure that my name isn't Willow, tit, willow, tit, willow. That was blighted affection that made me exclaim, oh, willow, tit, willow, tit, willow. And if you remain callous and obdurate, I shall perish as he did, and you will know why. Though I probably shall not explain as I die.
Oh, willow, tit, willow, tit, willow.
Really die of love.
You really did?
All on account of a cruel little hen.
Yes.
Poor little chap.
It's an affecting tale, and quite true. I knew the bird intimately.
You must have been very fond of her.
His devotion was something extraordinary.
Poor little chap. And if I refuse you, will you go and do the same?
At once.
No. Anything but that. Oh, I miss you, little goose. And you won't dislike me because I'm just a little teeny, weeny bit bloodthirsty.
Well, is there not beauty even in bloodthirstiness?
What I hear exactly. There is beauty in the valley of the blood. There is grandeur in the running of the hill. There is elephant in running, and the lion is running, and the tiger is lashing of his tail.
Yes, I like to see a tiger in the cover with a tiger, especially with lashing of his tail.
Or cannot have a grandeur that is real, and earthly Alicia and the dogs, and was scientific, there is nothing less to live in a fire fight than the force.
Yes, in spite of all my weakness, if I have a little weakness, it's a passion for a flight of thunderbolts. If that is so simple, that is so fun. Oh, it will go with me, and we'll trust me, and the thing is done. There's beauty in extreme old age. Do you fancy what else we have known? Information I'm requesting on a subject interesting isn't making all the better when she's tough.
The longer when she's tough.
Are you old enough to marry, do you think? Won't you wait till you are 80 in the shade? There's a fascination frantic and a ruinous romance. Do you think you are sufficiently decayed?
To the good of explanation, I have given you attention, and I think I am sufficiently decayed.
Is that so simple? Now, pretty interesting, what is so fun? Oh, it will go with me, and we'll trust me, and the thing is done. If that is so
Now then, we've had a capital lunch and we're quite ready. Have all the painful preparations been made?
Your Majesty, all is prepared.
Then produce the unfortunate gentleman and his two well-meaning but misguided accomplices.
Mercy! Mercy for Coco! Mercy for Pity Sing! Mercy even for Poobah!
Tom, I don't think I quite caught that remark. Mercy even for Poobah!
My husband that was worthy is dead, and I have just married this miserable object.
Oh, you've not been long about it.
we were married before the registrar.
I am the registrar. But my difficulty is that, seeing as you have slain the heir apparent,
The heir apparent is not slain.
bless my heart, my son!
Your daughter-in-law elected.
Traitor! You have deceived me!
Deceived you? Yes, I think you are owed a little explanation, but I think you will give it better hope than in peace.
Your Majesty. Oh. It's like this. It is true that I stated that I had killed Snaky Poo.
Yes, with the most affecting particulars.
Merely corroborative detail meant to give artistic verisimilitude.
Will you refrain from putting in your paw? It's like this. When Your Majesty says, let a thing be done, it is as good as done. Practically, it is done, because Your Majesty's will is law. Your Majesty says, kill a gentleman, and a gentleman is told off to be killed. Consequently, that gentleman is as good as dead. Practically, he is dead. And if he is dead, why not say so?
I see. Nothing could possibly be more satisfactory.
For he's long and merry, jump, 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 jump. Your angels say merry, for all will be merry. I think you had better come. And don't on his Christmas Day.
On the subject I claim me jump, jump, jump. You'll notice so many are not worth a penny. The word for your guidance is mum. The very good bargain indeed.
Gott soll